Hey, and welcome back to week number 4 of your relationship reboot. So in today's lesson, I'm going to be sharing with you about how to create space for the new relationship. So even if you're doing this and you're already in a relationship, in order to reboot it, today's exercises and practices will help you to restart a stumbling or failing relationship. And of course, if you're here because you're wanting a new relationship, then these exercises are to reboot you from inside and help detox the old relationships, the exes. The truth is, everything we've done so far in the relationship reboot has been in order to create space for the new or renewed relationship. We've been doing a lot of the inner decluttering already, and today we're going to finalize that in our last lesson. So in today's lesson, you're going to declutter your outer spaces, you're going to declutter your inner relationship space, and we're going to do a meditation to invite in the new relationship. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through all of today's exercises, knowing that you're going to need to pause the recording at each stage and do the exercises before proceeding on to the next phase. Let's take some tea. Let's start today with a quote. Get rid of clutter and you may just find that it was blocking the door to what you've already been looking for. Let's say that again. Get rid of clutter and you may just find that it was blocking the door to what you're looking for. And that's from Katrina Meyer. So let's start here with decluttering your outer environment, which means your home, your outer space, the places in which you reside and spend a lot of your time. So what I'm going to be doing is giving you a list of suggested ways to do. So what I'm going to give you, let's start that again. What I'm going to be doing is giving you a list of suggested ways to declutter your physical space and your environment. And then I'm going to direct you to experts on how to do this, as this is not the best way to spend our time here today, nor much of which being my personal expertise. Some of it is, but some of it isn't. And I'll be putting the resources for you on the PDF. So let's start here. Ways to declutter your outer environment. So let's start with decluttering your home, particularly your bedroom, your intimate space, but also your office or what may potentially be a meditation space, etc. Now, everything I'm going to be talking to you about, everything I do talk to you about actually in general, I've implemented. I've tried and tested. I've seen what works and doesn't work, and I only share with you what I know works. That being said, some of these things may be a bit full on for you. Like you're going to find some of these, you're going to go, hey, I'm not going to do that. That's up to you, but I'm telling you what I know works, okay? So decluttering your physical space is a super duper important and powerful way to help you come unstuck, right? So when you've got clutter in your physical environment, it literally creates an environment of stuckness where things are stuck still and not moving. So there's a lot of different aspects to decluttering your home. It's around things like decluttering old books and bookcases. It's about decluttering your wardrobe, your shoes, your clothes. And then we have something a bit more specific to this particular work around relationship decluttering, which is clearing out old letters, photos, and mementos around this person or these people. Can you see that if you're holding on to old memories from an ex relationship, that it's keeping you backwards somehow? It's keeping you backwards, okay? And we're trying to help you move forwards, create space for the forward movement, and hence the invitation for the new man or the renewed relationship, okay? So a person I'd love to direct you to around decluttering is a fantastic woman called Marie Kondo. And I'm going to give you a link to her website below. She's a total expert on decluttering. And one thing I love about her particularly is the way and the space in which she brings this concept of tidying up, okay? And one of the core things that she passes is this concept about sparking joy. So what she suggests essentially is you only keep in your physical environment what sparks joy inside you. And I love this concept because when you are sparked with joy, this is the very thing that you bring into your relationship, right? You bring into your dating. You literally bring this ignition, this spark of joy, and this energetic side of the feminine, which is such a big part of what the feminine brings, is a space, is this feeling, this sense that I can promise you the true masculine really knows and recognizes, okay? So when you only have in your physical environment what sparks joy for you, what if you're only wearing clothes that spark joy for you, then he's going to feel that in you, okay? Now, another really important aspect of the decluttering your home is your bedroom, okay? And I'm going to add in a little bit of where it is my expertise because I was a commercial interior designer for the first dozen years of my life as a professional. And all of these things I actually did innately, by the way. I did instinctively before I discovered these concepts of decluttering and reorganizing and changing up your space. But this particular aspect I used to do since I was a little girl. I would rearrange my bedroom. So, for example, a couple of things I have done before. So before I did my last round of dating and met my current partner, I threw away all of my old bed linens and I purchased new bed linens. And this was really key. The old bed linens, even though of course they were washed, they still carried all this sense of imprints of something of the old, okay? And, you know, besides the fact that it was time to renew them, but it did something. It really did something when I brought new linens into my bed, right? So I always say in my trainings, in the Powerfully Feminine Intensive trainings, excuse me. So in my Powerfully Feminine trainings and in my Arise in Your Queen, Attract Your King program, the bedroom is your temple as a woman. It's the most important space for you to cherish, to create, both physically and energetically, an environment that is nurturing and welcoming and loving and everything you want to portray about yourself, your most intimate space is your bedroom, right? So another thing I might suggest in your reboot is you could move your bed to a different part of the room, or you could put up different pictures on the walls, or you could move other aspects of the room around a little bit to create movement in the space, to create something that helps something get unstuck, get moving, right? It's really fun too. I love this process of decluttering and adjusting my space. I do it all the time. It's something that I have a great know-how about. So enjoy that aspect of reorganizing your bedroom, your temple. Now, to add to this decluttering aspect, I want to suggest something else, like another order of magnitude around preparing for decluttering and preparing this space for a new partner. And it is what is called space clearing, okay? And so what you might want to do is to employ a professional space clearing practitioner to space clear your house, your home. Now, what space clearers essentially do is in two parts. Firstly, they have methods for getting rid of the imprints in your home. And imprints are the emotional imprints, the memories, the the things that are stuck, let's put it that way, not the good memories, but the things that get stuck in the walls, in the furniture, in the bed. You see what I mean? These things get stuck to our house. And so what they do is they come in and they clear out the imprints. And by the way, they may not be yours. So when you go into a home, sometimes there's imprints of the previous owners or the previous renters of your space. And so these space clearers know how to get rid of the imprints. And then the second part of what they do is they basically essentially help you in a really beautiful ritual fashion to land exactly the space you actually want in your home. And in the line of what we're talking about, a space in which you are inviting your man, your new man. So again, I'm going to give you a link below to who is personally one of my best friends and a colleague, and she is literally one of the world's top space clearing practitioners. So I'm going to give you a link to her website, and you can have a look at what space clearing is about and have a talk to Tracy if you would like to engage that level of a next level of preparation around your physical space. And then a few more things on the level of decluttering your body, okay? So there's one aspect of it which is declutter. I'm pointing over here because behind here is my wardrobe. A really great thing is decluttering the wardrobe, because then you're only wearing things that you love and make you feel good. And this is still on the adornment side of the feminine, right? And I often speak about the adornment of the feminine goes on top of your feminine power and energy. So you've done that through decluttering the wardrobe. But the next two things I'm going to suggest are really cool and important things to do or to consider. Let's put it this way. The first one is super radical. It's cut your hair. Now, we all trim our hair, right? But I have had times when, because I have felt history, imprints, old relationships, old aspects of myself that need to go, I've cut my hair from where it is now up to here, super short, right? And it feels amazing. It feels so good to do that. And yet it's pretty radical, and it may be a bit too radical for you, but it's something to consider and to think about. Now, of course, even just a trimming of the ends does it to a certain extent. But if you're really wanting to create a shift and a change and adjustment, you might want to consider a new hairstyle. Something short and sassy, or something mid-length and sassy, or whatever it is that you might want to do to change something up, to get something moving in the body. And secondly, in terms of decluttering the body, it might be a really good time to consider doing a fast or a cleanse. Again, you can do research on that. You can Google those things, and I will put some references to some suggested ways to do this. Needless to say, when we fast and cleanse, we are putting our physical inner body, the physical inner body, into a state that creates emptiness, that creates motion of toxins out of our body, right? And in esotericism, things are not just symbolic. There's a relationship to toxins, physical toxin, and energetic or mental toxins. So great time to cleanse those things out of ourselves. And often what happens when we do a cleanse or a fast is sometimes the emotions or the hidden or the buried thoughts, feelings, emotions get to come up and move out with them, okay? They get to move out with the physical toxins. You get to feel the emotions. You get to let them move and flow inside of you. And lastly, it may be a time to consider taking a break, a holiday, a weekend away, or a meditation retreat, something that I do frequently. And these things, when we do these things, we're always actually going away from our home, and it creates a reset, right? So you go away, you're doing things that are different, you're breaking habits, you're breaking patterns, you're doing new things, or you're just relaxing and letting go and letting yourself experience the out breath, right? Which is a really important aspect of the feminine, out breath. And then when we get to out breath, we get to have a bit of a reset and a digestion of things that have been going on in our life. And then we re-enter our space in our home, feeling refreshed and reset. Okay? Good. So let's proceed. So the next thing I want to discuss is how to declutter your heart to create space for him. Now, as a queen, we seek to become what I call cup consciousness. Now, cup consciousness is the feminine to arrow consciousness, which is the masculine. And in this cup consciousness, it is this receptive power and this power of opening. Now, in decluttering your heart, you prepare the inner space for your man to come toward you, to see you and to enter you. That is the arrow consciousness, right? And we want this. We want him to enter us. We want him to be in our heart. We want that sense of merging, of being together with our man, right? Now, the truth is we've done a bunch of this already during the relationship reboot, and we're going to finish with a simple exercise in which you write a letter to the man or each man that is an ex relationship. And you'll do this by using the material that you've already been journaling on in our relationship reboot together. So what you're going to do is you're going to write your final letter to your ex or your exes. In this letter, you want to get it all out as if you were talking to him. And this was the only opportunity to say what wasn't said and what you now have greater clarity about. So how are you going to do this? Well, you're going to sit down for 30 to 40 minutes for each major relationship. Now, it may take you longer, it may take you shorter to do this. It's totally fine. You take as long or as short a time as you need to. And when you feel finished, and you'll feel finished when you know that you've written down everything and anything that was left unsaid, you are going to read it back to yourself. Now, what I'd suggest is doing this as a discrete exercise separate from the writing exercise. Now, some of the things that you're going to want to include in the letter to the ex are, you're going to start by making a heading at the top of each relationship, and you're going to call it final letter to his name. For example, final letter to Robert. Okay? In the letter, you want to include a few things stating that you've seen both his and your part in the relationship or in the failure of the relationship. For example, you're going to start by saying something like, I let go of the hopes and dreams that we or I had about XXX. I forgive you for XXX. I forgive you for not XXX. I'm sorry for what I did. Da-da-dum. I'm sorry for what I didn't do. Now, at the very, very end of doing this, you're going to write, I forgive you and I release you. And I'm ready to move forward to a new, thriving relationship. Now, here's an example of a section for you. I remember when we kept talking about building a house in Colorado and raising our family there. This meant so much to me, this image of a family together. I forgive you for not following through with this. New line. I forgive you for not holding me when I felt afraid, especially around the situation with my family. New line. I'm sorry that I didn't support you enough in your work and the troubles that you were having with your boss. New line. I'm sorry that I didn't speak my needs and desires clearly to you and then blamed you for not delivering what I needed and wanted. Get a sense of it there? You're going to write down anything that you've already journaled about and anything that additionally comes into your mind, into your consciousness during the final letter exercise. After you've done this, or after you've done the writing for the various relationships, find another time, light a candle, create a space, and you're going to read it back to yourself, okay? Next, I'm going to suggest that you ritually burn the letter or the letters. So what you're going to do is you're going to burn the letter and you're going to offer the content into the smoke and let it go up into the sky above. Now, needless to say, don't do this inside of your house and don't do it outside of your house where you're going to start a fire. So be clever in the way that you do this and be discreet in the way that you do this, in that you want to create a space for yourself where emotions again might come up, emotions might flow here, okay? Now I need to be really, really clear here. This letter is for you and you alone. It is not a good idea to use this material to initiate a conversation with this man or to share any of it with him. For example, sending him the letter or writing a letter to him. This is private. This is for your healing. This month was to help you to let go, to open up and to get prepared to receive the new. I want to repeat myself. It's a bad idea to take this material and see it as clarity to share with your ex. Simply don't do it. It could backfire in ways that you can't foresee and then set you back. Okay. Now, after you've done this, we're going to do a meditation. And this is a meditation to invite in the new relationship. So this is a great time to start lighting a candle on your altar to the beloved. And behind me here, the altar to the beloved, my altar to the beloved, has been our scene, our background for the entire relationship reboot. Now this is an altar that you create with much care, thought and deliberation in an area of your home in which you're going to light 2 candles on for a whole moon cycle month, from the new moon all the way through the full moon, all the way back to the new moon. Now, I'm not going to be going into details about this as I have an entire 20-minute video on this inside of my program, Arise in Your Queen, Attract Your King. Now, when I did this, I met my partner 3 days later on a dating app. But as this course has been about rebooting you to get you ready to invite in the new, you'll find that inside of that course, the Arise in Your Queen, Attract Your King program. But for now, we're at the final stage of wrapping up your relationship reboot. And I want to say you've dug really super deep and you've worked very hard to get here, and I am so proud of you. Most don't do the work that is required in themselves to prepare themselves for a great man, a king, a great relationship to happen. So let's finish with this meditation together. So light a candle, be in a quiet space on your own. And close your eyes. as you close your eyes, you turn yourself, toward your heart, toward your light, toward your spirit. And I'm going to get you to put one heart over your heart center, and then one hand, did I say one heart? I'm going to get you to put one hand over your heart center, and the other hand over the lower part of the belly, or in fact you can cup your pussy. And as the women who know in my trainings, the Powerfully Feminine trainings, we speak about our pussy in a very empowered way, very loving way. And then we take a full length of breath all the way in and up to the top of the head, and all the way out and down to the base of the body. In and up to the top of the head, and out and down to the base of the body. And this is what I call a full length of breath. And at any stage in the meditation, if emotions arise, let them flow. Let them flow in you, let them flow through you, let them flow out of you. Emotions are the water element, and the water element is the feminine. Blocking emotions is like pushing down or suppressing the feminine. And the thing is, the masculine actually loves our emotions. They love our vulnerability. Especially when we own it. We own our emotions. We own what's happening inside of us. And we don't project it onto anybody. It's very, very different. Very, very different. So continue to breathe. And I want you to, as you start to breathe, is to just reflect on the month of the reboot you've just been doing. Reflecting on the exercises you've done, on the videos that we've shared together, the journaling, the realizations. A lot's actually happened in this month. And taking this moment just to be grateful for yourself for having taken the time for yourself, a giving, an act of self-love and self-care. You may already feel quite a lot lighter. You may have already felt like you've cleaned out the cup a bit more, made it more available. You may already feel like you're quite a lot lighter, that you've made the cup quite a lot more open and receptive and available and ready. And you're going to reflect on the space at the top of the mountain, where last week you'd done a lot of work to get to the top of the mountain, where the air was clearer and freer and lighter and really pure, simple. And at the top of the mountain, you've let go of the hopes and dreams, the old hopes and dreams, into the river, into the source of the river, and you've let them flow away. And you've also burnt these final letters. And the smoke has been taken up to the sky above. And let's take our attention up to the sky at the top of the mountain. And we're going to be looking up to the darkness of the night sky, pure and clear, black, with just the ignition of the stars twinkling, the fire of the stars. The blackness of the sky, the twinkling stars, and the mountain top. And you're going to feel in yourself this opening, this clarity, this readiness that you now feel inside, that you actually feel ready for the new. And as you're looking up at the stars, the billions of stars that in this exercise represent the billions of souls, the billions of hearts shining down on you. And the billions of the masculine souls shining down toward you, wanting to come toward you, penetrate your heart, find you, and who are already looking for you right now. So putting the palms upwards like this, the hands as an extension of our heart, we feel ourselves receptive to the new. Even if there's trepidation, uncertainty, maybe a little bit of excitement. He's already looking for me. He's out there. And there are billions. There are so many great, beautiful, true masculine men, kings. And right now, they're shining down on you, in you. And you feel ready. Ready for the new. Not just ready for the new, but ready for a completely different experience that you've ever had before. What it's like to be with a king. What it's like to be with a man who adores your feminine, your queen, your body, your smarts, your power. Those men adore queens. And you are ready. And let's have a phase of thanking them for being there. And we're going to have a phase of bringing the hands back together toward the heart center. And let's have a phase of gratitude. Gratitude to the true masculine. The masculine of the divine. And the true feminine in you, who is ready to receive it. And the true feminine in you that is fully ready to receive the force of the true masculine. Continuing to breathe. And a phase of gratitude to yourself for all of the work you've done to be ready, to be poised. And feeling gratitude for all this beautiful knowledge that we've been sharing here in the relationship reboot. That's facilitating your readiness. And ever so gently, you're going to get ready to open your eyes. And return. Haha. Hello and welcome back. So, let's review what we've covered here today. You have learned how to declutter your outer spaces, your outer environment, your physical space. You finalized and decluttered your inner relationship space, your heart, your body, your energy. And we've done a beautiful meditation to invite in the new relationship. Now, I'd love you to head on over to the Facebook group and post any ahas that you have had about these exercises today and how you feel subsequent to having done the relationship reboot. Great job. I'm so proud of you and what you've done here over the relationship reboot. I am so grateful for your presence, that you've pressed in, that you've had the courage to dive deep, to dig in, and to take responsibility in order that you are actually, in taking responsibility, standing in your queen and making yourself ready, available and receptive to this king, this great man who is waiting for you. Much, much love from my heart to yours. Big kiss, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye for now.